inaugural mic and bike ride. This is my regular route in sunny Bellevue, soon to be Redmond. Across the border here, not too far. I'm not exactly sure where the border is. And up ahead you can see the school bus that my son is on. He's off on his way to a wonderful day. It's in elementary school. Here's some other kids waiting for a bus. Listening to an old episode of This American Life. Listening to David Rakoff talking about Commute and Monadnock. Unfortunately, Mr. Rakoff passed away not too long ago from some long, troubling disease. And suppose, well, obviously he is missed. As far as Mount Monadnock is concerned, I climbed it once myself. It wasn't too hard. Not sure how I would do these days. Oh my goodness, that was back in the would have been like 96 or 97 or something when I did that. Visiting New Hampshire. I think I would have been out on one of my trips to my PCB headquarters back then. So 20 years earlier. Now that my hip bothers me, it'd be interesting to see how quickly I'd run all the way up there. This is why I love biking. I could bike forever and not feel anything. This is but the joy of cycling. Here's some more kids waiting for the bus. They're likely going to a high school. They're definitely bigger kids. There we go. It's interesting, Mr. Rakoff keeps talking, well, he keeps making inferences through all of his readings that he does to his Canadianness, which is something I have in common with him in that regard, in two ways. I'm a Canadian, and I've been living in America for a long time. Although I'm not a resident of New York City, like Mr. Rakoff was. Never been there, in fact. One of these days, I'll have to check it out. I have seen Manhattan, though, as my plane once landed in Newark, New Jersey. I could see the Manhattan skyline. I went up to Syracuse that trip to do some testing of network equipment at Syracuse University. It's a little brisk this morning, not super cold. Not cold enough for me to put on my jacket. I'm in my shorts, although I'm in my shorts often even when it's cold. Here is the parking lot for the rowing people, the rowing facility. People who go rowing out on the lake. You can see there's some people out there this morning already. much rowing in boats, but I do like rowing machines in gyms. They're my favorite piece of gym equipment, I think. Yeah, we're definitely in Redmond now. This I'm sure would be classed as Redmond. And this is the route I take every day on my way to work. And this whole complex of trees and so on is, I think, would be Marymore Park. Although some of it on this side of the canal I don't think is Marymore Park. I don't know what it is, but it would certainly be nature preserve. The episode I'm listening to of This American Life, they taped in New York City live, and they had a band. They Might Be Giants were their house band for the evening. It's kind of interesting listening to them play. They seem to be talented musicians. They did all of the intro music to the pieces on the show, and even played a little country song to accompany Sarah Vowell in one of her monologues. And I just plug along on my Commute. Interesting, somebody going by and dressed in their work clothes. I typically don't do that. I don't like to have, I change my clothes when I get to work. I noticed he had a little card hanging, electronic card hanging from his belt. Looked very suspiciously like a Microsoft card key, which wouldn't be that odd for this area since the Microsoft campus is only like a mile and a half away. So this is Marymore Park that I'm in now, and now we're on a bike trail. I take a bike trail almost all the way to work from here. I don't know what they call this. Sometimes they call this the Burt Gilman Trail. That sign said the Sammamish River Trail. And I'm not sure what they call this. I've heard this called the canal, but that sign said it's a river, this body of water here that connects all the way up to the Sound. I know it goes through Lake Union and Seattle and in through some locks in Ballard. I'm just coming up to the 520 freeway. And about a year and a half ago, there was regularly in the mornings, there would be a homeless person sleeping underneath, right beside one of these pillars under the freeway every morning when I came by. He hasn't been here in a long time now. I have no idea what happened. Maybe he found a better place to sleep. I don't know. I always look when I go under the freeway in the mornings to see if I can spot one of those sleeping bags. I think the homeless are with us all around the world. Here's a runner out. I'm sworn I recognize that face. Somebody I may have worked with years ago, I don't know. Here we go. I cross this bridge here over the river or a canal, whatever it is. So another This American Life episode just started. They're going to be talking about the prison system in this one, apparently. I don't think I've heard this one before. I have about 400 of their episodes on my cell phone, and I'm just going through all their episodes. I don't think I've listened to it live on the radio in years and years. I list everything downloaded. Good morning. You know, the people you meet on the trail certainly changes with the seasons. In particular, in the winter, I'm usually the only one. There's very few people out here on their bikes or walking. That's one nice thing about the winter. Sometimes in the afternoons when I'm biking home, the trail is so packed, I have to slow down all the time, and I'm one of the slowest cyclists there is, so that means something. But in the winter, when it's pouring rain and near freezing, I've got the whole trail to myself. There's some more cyclists up ahead. They've been doing a lot of earth moving and landscaping on the side here. They're trying to restore some habitat for salmon, apparently. So they're digging big trenches and lining them with logs to provide good places for spawning, apparently. The bike trail used to be about 30 feet, 100 feet to my right, but now they've redirected all the traffic to this new trail so they can do all their earth moving, environmental reconstruction, apparently. There we go. Well, I'm really eager to see how this all works out, how this video is. I haven't done this before. And I'm going to have to merge the audio track onto the video. And I'll also try to put the telemetry from my trip that's being recorded with Endomondo all on my cell phone. See if I can merge them all into one beautiful video that'll likely bore the heck out of everybody. But we like experimenting, seeing what we can do. One of these days I'll even try maybe doing phone conversations, kind of have like a podcast while I'm biking, discuss topical issues with some friends. I love podcasting. I used to do a lot of it. Haven't been doing so much in the last couple of years. So I have to cross this big road. Just waiting for the lights. This is beautiful Redmond. Here are all the lawn equipment, lawn mowers going. There's a white walking man. Here we go. Now this is the last stretch to get my office. I really like this asphalt that they're using here, the surface material. When it rains, the rain just goes right through it. So it's not very slippery. It's porous. It's very pleasant to cycle on in inclement weather. Unfortunately, I don't know what that means for the longevity or cost of the material. If it was the same price as the non-porous variety and lasted just as long, then that would be wonderful. Use it everywhere. But as with many things in life, things are complicated. Morning. It's all about trade-offs. I think it's a decision, go under the bridge or go over the bridge. This morning I think I will go over the bridge and enjoy the beautiful trash on the sidewalk here. Well, thank you. Okay, go right on through. No cars coming here. Okay. here we are. We have arrived at our destination. The great offices of Uhuru Software, which is just one little tiny suite here where myself and my two colleagues sit. And I have to say goodbye to my audience until the next time.